Months after Shannon disappeared, police were searching the side of Ocean Parkway, and they learned that this was a bigger case than they imagined.
Police on Long Island are searching for a serial killer.
We had somebody who's targeting sex workers.
Basically with impunity right under everyone's nose.
Gone Girls, the Long Island serial killer, currently the #2 viewed show on Netflix's global top 10 list. It focuses on the investigation into the Gilgo Beach murders. And as this new docuseries captures the attention of true crime watchers all around the world, the real-life trial for this case is what's trending in true crime. Defendant Rex Heuermann is being accused in a string of these deaths. And his attorney wants certain DNA evidence that was collected during the course of the investigation to be excluded from being brought into the trial. So this issue was the focus of some recent court hearings ahead of the trial date. On the heels of that defense motion, the state's response reads, and this is just in part, quote, "The advancement of forensic science and nuclear DNA analysis involving whole genome sequencing has allowed law enforcement to now link genetic profiles consistent with the defendant and or individuals who've resided with him to 6 of these 7 victims through hairs found at the crime scene and or on the victims." But Rex Heuermann's defense team doesn't believe this type of testing belongs in criminal court, saying that it's actually never been used in a forensic setting ever before this case. So should the DNA evidence be admissible? Let's bring in Rex Heuermann's attorney, Michael J. Brown. Michael, would you explain to us, please, how you found out, the research you did that led you to realizing that this would be a first, essentially, for allowing these types of results to come in?
Julie, the SNP DNA and the whole genome sequencing, which is what this company on the West Coast called Astrea, is attempting to do, that we found out that it is a novel approach and that it has never been used in any type of forensic criminal setting. Now, having said that, they did move in the state of Idaho on a case called Darimble, where it was a murder, it was a cold case, and they found some DNA. And that is the first case that they attempted to use it in. And the court in Idaho actually did allow it to come in, keeping in mind the standard in the state of Idaho was different and less than the state of New York. We have what's called a Fry standard, and there's either Daubert or Fry. The state of Idaho has neither. But in any event, that's the type of science that they claim they have, and that is what we're trying to preclude at this point.
Michael, how did the hearing go? This was one that we weren't able to watch it. You know, there are certain ones where we're able to, others, you know, where cameras were kept out. How did you feel afterward?
Well, I felt fine. I think it went well. They've put on 2 witnesses so far. Dr. Kelly Harris, who is a population geneticist, is what I believe her title is. And then they put on Dr. Nicole Navrosky, who is a biological forensic scientist. And these are real smart people with great credentials. But the ultimate issue, the ultimate standard we have is general acceptance in the relevant scientific community. So far, I've seen a bunch of smart people come in, talk about this type of process in DNA, but they are not experts in what we call the relevant scientific community, specifically casework, criminal cases, forensic related. So far, although they're smart and they said what they had to say, and I thought cross-examination went well, I don't think they lent much to the determination by the court on the specific issue, which is this generally accepted in the relevant scientific community?
Mm-hmm. Michael, I have a clip. This is from Suffolk County DA Ray Tierney talking publicly at a press conference about which hairs tested point to members of Rex Heuermann's family. Let's take a look.
The evidence is we have mitochondrial DNA from a hair that was found on the body of Valerie Mack, which was a portion of the body of Valerie Mack, which was found off of Mill Road. That hair, mitochondrial DNA analysis was performed, and that hair was consistent with the mitochondrial DNA profiles of both Asa Heuermann and her daughter, Asa Ellerup, and her daughter, Victoria Heuermann.
Okay, and Michael, you recall that was largely how we started hearing about this case, how investigators, when they were talking about it, they were alleging that they were able to link your client through things that were discarded, things that were in the trash, namely, a drink, that his daughter had touched. We know a pizza box that they say he had touched, things like that. One of his wife's hairs apparently on one of the victims. As you know, and I say this all the time, I say this when you're on the program, when you're not on the program, I say it to other people when we talk about this case. The best thing Rex Heuermann has going for him is you, that he has you as his attorney, because these facts are very, very bad, as you know. If you don't get your wish with this DNA evidence being excluded, what comes next then, Michael?
Well, from day one, he has maintained his innocence, Julie. So we take it step by step. You've tried many cases in your career. You know how it works. So we go step by step. We make motions. We try to preclude evidence that we feel is improper. There's a pending severance motion, as you may be aware, to try to separate the cases for legal reasons. There will be other motions that I know will be forthcoming. So listen, we will obviously fight this particular battle. If we win, it gets precluded. If we lose this battle, we continue on and we make our legal arguments and zealously represent the accused. That's what we do.
Sure. No, I know you do. Are there any other things you can share with us in terms of some defense strategy? I understand there are things you want to, keep private, but is there anything publicly for anybody kind of wanting to know, okay, what may be coming at the point of trial from the defense team? I know you're not just going to sit there. I know you're going to bring it. Is there any hint of something you can tell us today, Michael?
Well, the only thing I will say is we're dealing with the DNA and this new novel, what I call novel magic, they call science. If we don't prevail on this issue, I will indicate that there's going to be a subsequent motion to preclude that evidence anyway, because in New York State, it's the Department of Health is required to grant permits for any out-of-state companies that want to offer into evidence things like this, DNA testing. And I know Astrea, the company on the West Coast in California, is not permitted in New York, especially at the time of testing. And I don't think to this day they are. So if we don't prevail on this issue, I know that we're going to be filing a motion to preclude the evidence based on those grounds in and of itself. But we're waiting for the Fry determination, and that's ongoing. We still have numerous more witnesses that are going to be taking the stand, and I expect it's going to go another month or so.
Sure. Tell me, Michael, how about the Netflix doc? How does that affect anything for you in your trial prep?
No, quite frankly, I haven't even watched it. I don't have time to watch
Sure.
it, Julie.
You're so
obviously,
busy.
people come up to me and tell me about it, and things that they've told me, it's things that I've been living and working on for the last almost 2 years. So I'm familiar with it, but I haven't watched it.
Is your son helping you go through all that discovery, Michael? Because I know we've talked before how there are terabytes being handed over to you. I mean, we're talking devices that could hold like all the books in the Library of Congress. We're talking like major amounts of information being turned over. Is anybody that we know helping you out with this case, or is this kind of all on you?
No, if it was all on me, I'd be long gone. There's numerous people helping me. We have great lawyers helping me on this case. We have excellent experts, both on the DNA front, on telecommunications front, on the computer front. So it's a case of significant magnitude in terms of the discovery. And remember, Julie, this is an ongoing investigation since the early 90s. And there are 7 victims that they claim my client is responsible for. So the amount of discovery is, I can't even articulate it and put it into words, but suffice it to say there's numerous people, all great lawyers, great experts helping and assisting on this case, and I'm lucky to have them.